Teamsters won a major victory against Yellow Corporation with the dismissal of the company's frivolous $137 million lawsuit.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Let's get to what workers in the U.S. South and American colonies were up to from March the 22nd to 29th. In new union campaigns, one worker at All Points Logistics in North Merritt Island, Florida, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW Local 2088. 120 workers at Martin Brower Company in Roanoke, Texas, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Teamsters, Local 767. 75 workers at AMR in Temple, Texas, filed a petition to hold a union election with the Communication Workers of America, CWA. Workers likely pushed by their employer filed a petition to decertify the National Nurses Organizing Committee as the union representing 200 workers at Valley Regional Medical Center in Brownsville, Texas. 16 workers at Arrow's Edge in Cherry Point, North Carolina, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, IAMAW. 7 workers at Wayne Sanderson Farms in Enterprise, Alabama, filed a petition to hold a union election with IAMAW. 7 workers at ESG in Fort Benning, Georgia, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE Local 926. 31 workers at Christie Lights Nashville in Nashville, Tennessee, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Alliance of Theatrical and Stage Employees, IATSE Local 46. 2 workers at Prime Communications in Montgomery, Alabama, filed a petition to hold a union election with the CWA. And 8 workers at Liberty Mobile, Puerto Rico in Ganaibo, Puerto Rico, filed a petition to hold a union election with CWA. And 103 workers at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., filed a petition to hold a union election with the Office and Professional Employees International Union, OPEIU Local 153. In campaign updates, after successfully organizing ramp and tug workers in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Global Hub for DHL, Teamsters are now organizing the sort workers. The company is obviously breaking the law, and last week the workers marched on the boss to demand an end to the illegal union busting. Mercedes workers in Alabama filed board charges against their company over allegations that they have been illegally retaliated against for their union support. Specifically, one worker was not given reasonable medical accommodations for their union support, among other things. Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. In election results, 13 workers at the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra voted in a tie, 5-5, in their union election with IATSE Local 927, meaning a loss for the union. But Adam isn't sure if that was a decertification vote. I don't think it was. 149 workers at Kraft Heinz Foods Company in Jacksonville, Florida, voted 107-24 in favor of maintaining unionization with the United Food and Commercial Workers, UFCW Local 1996, in a decertification attempt. 18 workers at Pro Solar Systems in Christiansted, Virgin Islands, voted 8-9 against unionization with the United Steelworkers, USW Local 8526. 4 workers at Union Oil and Gas in Winfield, West Virginia, voted unanimously against unionization with USW 62804. 6 workers at Everon in Knoxville, Tennessee, voted in a tie in a decertification election, meaning the workers lose IBEW 760 as their union representation. 64 workers at SP Plus Corporation in St. Rose, Louisiana, voted 39-12 in favor of unionization with the Amalgamated Transit Union, ATU, Local 1535. 94 workers at Cargill in Reserve, Louisiana voted 38 to 56 against unionization with Teamsters Local 270. 100 workers at UNFI, United Natural Foods in Atlanta, Georgia, voted 82 to 5 in favor of unionization with the Teamsters Local 728. 34 security guards for Chenega Global Protection in Washington, D.C., voted unanimously in favor of unionization with the Security, Police, and Fire Professionals of America, SPFPA. 137 workers at Mary's Center for Maternal and Child Care in Washington, D.C., voted 93 to 22 in favor of unionization with 1199 SEIU, United Healthcare Workers East. 77 workers at Cisco Knoxville in Knoxville, Tennessee, voted 29 to 46 against unionization with the Teamsters, Local 519. In settlements, grievances, and unfair labor practices, the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades secured over $100,000 in stolen wages for 60 Nashville painters. The Teamsters won a major victory against Yellow Corporation with the dismissal of the company's frivolous $137 million lawsuit by U.S. District Court Judge Julie A. Robinson. In strikes and bargaining updates, the United Mine Workers of America, UMWA, announced that it has reached a tentative collective bargaining agreement with the Crimson Oak Grove Resources Mine in Adger, Alabama. Members will be reviewing the contract and voting on it next week. A majority of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen members ratified a new contract with the Missouri and Northern Arkansas Railroad by a vote of 42 to 10. The 5-year deal runs through January 1st, 2028, and provides general wage increases of 25%, 27.5% when compounded over the life of the contract. 7% at signing in 2024, 5% in 2025, 5% in 26, 4% in 27, and another 4% in 28. The UMWA and the AFL-CIO are launching a campaign aimed at Warrior Met stockholders, urging them to support a package of governance reforms in the wake of lost profits due to the strike. Workers at Waffle House in Atlanta, Georgia, automatically have a $3 meal deduction per day that they work, whether they eat or not. $3 from their paycheck every single day that they work for a meal, whether they eat or not. This despite the company being worth $4 billion and the owner being worth $1.7 billion. Workers went on strike over the policy last week. As the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers begins contract negotiations with Boeing, they are saying they want a board seat to help save the company from itself. Teamsters have won a strong new agreement to end their strike against Graybar. Local 688 members ratified a new 4-year contract that achieved significant improvements across the board, according to the union. Teamsters at Molson Coors remain on strike and continue to call for a boycott of all Molson Coors products. In politics and legislation, the U.S. Department of Labor announced a final rule clarifying that employees have a right to select an employee or non-employee representative to accompany an OSHA compliance officer during an inspection of their workplace, even in a non-union setting. And the U.S. Council of Bosses is mad about it. As previously reported, an Alabama state senator filed legislation that would put one more unnecessary barrier to unionization in front of working Alabamians. The North Alabama Labor Council, who we may have some connections with, came out in opposition to the bill last week. That opposition was covered in multiple outlets across the state. In a stunning election, Democrat Marilyn Lands won by 30 points in a Trump +1 Alabama State House district that's been held by a Republican for decades. You can listen to her interview with us to see how she will represent her constituents in Montgomery. In internal union affairs, new data came out last week showing that union members secured an average 6.6% raise in first-year raises in new union contracts negotiated in 2023, the highest ever recorded since Bloomberg began recording those numbers in 1988. Just one more reason to join a union. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.